Welcome to this episode of Biz Takeouts, Bizcommunity's soundbite-sized news to go, made possible by Cellc, a leading mobile provider in South Africa, which offers a wide range of products and services, including voice, data, and messaging services to more than 11 million customers. I'm your host, Angie White, and I'm very excited to introduce today's guest. Simo Mkhize is the Chief Commercial Officer at Cellc, who will be sharing details of the company's need for change, how COVID-19 has affected the business, as well as its new brand positioning, including the new Change Your World payoff line and SA's growing digital ecosystem. Welcome, Simo.
Thank you, Angie, and thank you for the opportunity to chat to you and to chat to the listeners. And we look forward to the conversation. Couldn't have come at a more exciting time for our business in terms of the change journey that we are currently embarking. And I'm very excited to share that with the listeners.
Wonderful. So let's set the stage, Simo. What does the current telecommunications industry and the digital ecosystem look like in South Africa amidst the current pandemic and the fourth industrial revolution?
So it's a very interesting time. It's for the telecommunications industry, primarily because of the changes. Firstly, the one key one is around consumer-driven change. Consumers have been hard hit by the current pandemic and the economic meltdown that has come with it. So consumers needs to be or have become a lot more conscious about how they spend their money. And so for telco providers, it's quite important to provide simple, affordable, and solutions that really caters for the needs of the consumers. But also, what these changes have done is almost accelerated the digital adoption, primarily, which we've been talking about the fourth industrial revolution. This has almost been accelerated by COVID and what COVID has brought about. So how we work, our customers are working from home, and therefore they're consuming a lot more data, they're consuming a lot more digital content, and we need to be providing solutions that cater for that work from home, study from home, and entertain from home, in terms of solutions. And also another one that's really closely linked to that is how we serve our customers that choose to come to our retail environment. We've had to create safe spaces within the retail environment where customers have actually gone out, to us, because we need to be very clear with how we position, products that is a very simple, quick experience. Customers can come in and out and get served, within that environment and be back home as quickly as they can. So that's really how the impact the pandemic has kind of impacted and introduced some levels of change in how we do business relating to the pandemic.
Great. So Simo, let's delve straight into Cellc's business specifically. Could you elaborate on the most significant contributor to Cellc's need for change or improvement, and also how true are the reports that Cellc is in real trouble?
So, a lot has been said about Cellc's current situation and the prospect of survival. I came into the business about a year ago. That was about half. When you look about it, it was about a year into our turnaround strategy, with the new leadership coming on board, a new CEO, new CFO. We've mapped up a very compelling turnaround strategy. As I said, I came into the business about a year ago. I bought into this vision because it was quite clear in how the business has a very single-minded and focused way of turning around, the business and charting a new course, for Cellc. To this end, as we look at 2020, we've had a very solid set of results, and I think our results will be announced in the next couple of weeks. But just to highlight, we've seen, stabilizing in our customer base. In fact, with a relatively good growth in the second half of the year, our margins are stabilizing, and so is our revenue, and it sets out for a very exciting 2021 in terms of how we are, we're going to be taking and driving the business forward. But also, when you look at how this new turnaround is built on a very strong new operating model, which means we need to change how we do business as Cell C. We've looked at it and said, where do we need to change, and how do we need to, serve our customers better by really making sure that as Cell C we provide solutions that cater for our customers' needs, under these, difficult and changing, circumstances for our customers. And to support this, we have, ready to move this momentum forward. We've launched a new brand positioning supported by a brand campaign and a very exciting TVC that started flighting on the 1st of Feb, really drive this change narrative through.
Perfect. And we'll chat more about that in a moment. But first, I want to ask how COVID has accelerated the adoption of Cell C's new business model and seen some profound adaptation, particularly in its network strategy and go-to-market approach. Could you elaborate on this and offer some insight into the process?
You'll hear me talk a lot about our turnaround strategy, but let me just delve into it a little bit more. I mean, our turnaround strategy is made up of four pillars. One of these pillars is a network pillar, and really talks about roaming agreements. We have entered into roaming agreements with the two primary, network providers, in the country. What that gives us is an opportunity to have, the best networks available in the country, and really almost eliminate the network as a competitive edge, and thus really leaves Cell C to focus on ensuring that we deliver solutions that cater for our customers' needs. And we really believe that we've started doing that. I mean, in the first few months of this year, we've launched some exciting products around the home solutions led by our home FLTE product, or wireless home wireless products, and also we've launched a couple of social media offerings in terms of really customizing the offerings for our customers around the most social media platforms that Cell C users use, and actually give them value in consuming that content. And also what this innovation allows us to do is to also be able to share with our customers the benefits of us being a wholesale aggregator of traffic. The benefits of what we get from utilizing our partners' networks enables us to really pass on these benefits to our consumers by delivering value to them in the form of data offerings, voice offerings, and other content that we'll be delivering. But most importantly, sitting at this, which will differentiate us going forward, is our ability to partner with other services offerings, that some of them sit in adjacencies, not necessarily in core telco services, whether it is providing financial services, providing content, providing work enablement, and jobbing platforms. All of this, and also educational platforms. All of this really sits at how, as Cell C, we're saying we are open for business with new and existing partners to actually really work with us in delivering propositions that cater for our customers' needs.
Sure, it's quite a lot that you guys are up to, and it sounds like exciting times. Mm-hmm. Now back to your new brand positioning, which Cell C has just launched, as well as the payoff line and the TVC. As a challenger lifestyle brand, tell us more about Cell C, its new positioning itself as an enabler of positive change.
I think led primarily by the COVID situation, there has been a lot of change that's happening in our consumers' lives. But also there's been change that's been happening in our own business. We're in the middle of a turnaround strategy, as I indicated earlier on. So what we've said is, let's take our customers in this journey with us. As we are changing, let's be transparent, let's be open, and actually say to our customers, we are on a change journey, But this change journey is not only about changing Cell C, but it is also about changing our customers' lives for the better and delivering products and services that will make sure that our customers benefit from from this change. So as a challenger brand, we're saying there is opportunities out there for all of us, whether we're facing challenges. We need to look at how we can use we can use opportunities that have available around us to deliver on the vision that we have, and not only really look at the stumbling blocks and look at the challenges insurmountable. And we're saying our customers, we will be able to deliver this this change journey with them, and they will be benefiting as much as we would be as we grow in this journey.
Wonderful. Then, Simo, let's focus on Cell C's new TVC for a moment. Specifically, why did Cell C choose the narrative of a female football coach? And does Cell C see itself as an underdog despite being in the industry for almost 20 years?
Right from the beginning, when you see the little girl, battling and really want to prove herself with the older bigger brothers, it's a story that really resonates with us as a brand, and we believe that could resonate with most South Africans, where we're saying sometimes we face challenges of various kinds, but the most important thing is to say, if you have a vision and you have a very strong will to succeed, you can be able to chart your own way to success. You can be able to say you would claim your position. And as Cell C, we're saying we have a role to play in this industry. We actually can compete, and the rules of competition, we can set our own rules. Just like as you see with the coach, she has charted her own way of success. The success for her brothers was to become, successful football players, but her success is to become a successful, female coach. And we're saying that therein lies the route to success for us as a business, and for most South Africans, is to say, chart your own way of how success is going to look like for you. For us, success will come from becoming an aggregator of wholesale traffic and delivering customized consumer value proposition to our customers, and then be able to deliver value to them and to grow for our own business.
Wonderful. And I definitely think that it's a campaign and a TVC that will resonate with a lot of South Africans. Right, Simo, moving on to Cell C's new Change Your World payoff line, which also just launched. What does it mean for Cell C, and what is Cell C saying to the rest of South Africa through this message?
So we are basically saying to South Africans, they must embrace the change that we're currently facing in any kind. Some people have to embrace how work from home, what it means for them. Some South Africans have had to deal with the change of saying, you need to look at different ways to make a living. So we're saying as SLC, we have had our own industry change that we've had, and we've embraced the opportunity to change. And we're saying we are there with you in this journey to develop in this change. And one of these very exciting proof points of how we've really worked with our consumers to really drive the change, with our summer campaign that we ran in the last quarter of 2020, we said, change your world, change your summer, change your world. And in there, we said 20 customers had an opportunity to win a bakkie. And we could have chosen any kind of vehicle, but we chose the bakkie for a specific reason. We said South Africans need to look at opportunities to develop themselves, either build new businesses or support existing businesses. And the vehicle that we had chose was actually a good tool to support and drive that change. And we've already captured some very exciting stories of winners that have actually used these, whether it is in agriculture or other forms of businesses that have had. And these vehicles have actually really contributing towards changing their world and driving their change journey. So it's a journey that started, and it's going to be carried out in various proof points throughout the course of of this year as we deliver on this change journey platform.
I love that idea. I really think it's an awesome way to support South African business. Right, Simo, Cell C talks about becoming a wholesale aggregator, like you've mentioned. This is one of the ways it plans to participate in the telecom sector along with its bigger rivals. What does this entail and how does it impact the company's focus on quality over quantity?
So what this means is that our focus as a business or as a challenger business is going to be very clear and direct. We are no longer going to be focusing on building a network. We are going to focus on delivering the products and services and solutions that cater for our customer needs. But most importantly, again, linked to that is that we are going to retain our identity as a network operator. We are going to maintain control of our own destiny in terms of managing our core network, which is basically includes our billing platforms, including our transmission as well as our core of the network. But we are no longer going to be focusing on the last mile, which is the radio access part of the network. This will enable us to shift our investments from this very heavy capital intensive network build to investing in technology, in partnerships, in skilled people who are going to help us deliver these products that will help us to deliver the solutions that our customers are looking for. But also as a wholesale aggregator, it means we're going to have access to capacity that we can actually utilize to benefit our customers. Because we don't need to worry much about return on capital, we can then be able to say where we have capacity to deliver propositions that will give our customers best value. Whether in terms of more megs, more minutes, and customize that to specific services, we'll be able to do that. So our customers will benefit, will see a clear benefits of this new strategy for us becoming a wholesale aggregator. I mean, one of the new propositions that we've launched, it actually went live on the 1st of Feb, is Cell C Mega Millions. Which is linked to our Spin and Win campaign. Basically, we're saying every day we have 100,000 gigs that our customers can share in by just recharging, buying a Cell C product, and they can win their own share of this 100,000 gigs every single day for the next 3 months.
Sure, that's exciting. And then, Simo, tell me, what is the age of network sharing? What does it mean for the telecoms industry and more specifically for Cell C?
So the first, call it 20 years or so of this industry has been about who has the best coverage, who has the most number of sites, and we've effectively had, call it the 3 or 4 big networks, literally building base stations and networks and coverage right next to each other, which quite bluntly put has been duplication and to a certain extent wasteful. We're about now to get into the 5G, where there will be even much more higher investment required from a capital perspective in order to deliver quality 5G networks. And if we are going to build 3 or 4 5G networks in this country, it will come at a cost, and which will mean that the consumers will have to, maybe not have the best benefit of 5G, as we may not be able to then deliver it at a much more cost effective. Where Cell C is shifting and leading this shift and change in the narrative in our industry, we're saying instead of being competitors, let's be cooperators, and with our competitors. So we will be sharing network with those who are going to take the lead in building networks. We will then have access when we need, and we have business cases for 5G. We will then buy the 5G capacity to be able to deliver those use cases or products that our customers need in the 5G space. In the meantime, across whether it's 4G and voice services, we will continue to use this partnerships to be able to deliver value for our customers through the partnerships that we have in the industry. And we see this going to be more and more in the future that instead of competing at a network build level, we will be cooperating and building scale, and then be able to deliver value for the consumer.
Definitely think if there was a time for collaboration, now is the time. And Simo, tell me, in your opinion, why is it important for companies to establish new ways to offer value to customers, especially through services that demonstrate customer centricity?
So there are social and economic needs that our customers are facing currently, as I indicated, whether driven by COVID or driven by the tough economy. And it's important then for us as a network to provide solutions that cater for these, socioeconomic needs of our customers. So that is why it's quite key for us to deliver, solutions in that way. But also, customers are different, where they find themselves in their own journey. The good example is you look at students, whether it's university students or you look at high school students for the better part of last year, and we don't know what lies ahead this year. They were, there's been, they were not working from home, but studying from home. There were tailored solutions that we had to create to cater for student needs, work with universities to provide, data at the most affordable rates. Some of this meant that we work, we were able to give them data at certain times of the day at much better rate than they could probably get during peak primary hours of the day. But what that means is that they had to change how they do their business. And in order to be able to deliver to the customers, which are students, but also for students to be able to access content over the internet, access content, whether it is classrooms or YouTube. All of these solutions were enabled by our digital solutions, and just really by listening to the customers, sitting down with whether it was groups of universities, and mapping up and charting the way forward around how we can deliver data to them at the most effective rates, and also still be able to deliver the education solutions. And so that's just one case, which is the call it education sector. We've set with other, whether it is in private or in public space, customers to chart a way of delivering solutions that suits their needs. And going forward, that's how we are going to do business. And this is not primarily going to be driven by crisis or driven by a pandemic, but it's what we've done to deliver solutions now, and deliver solutions in that way for various customers, whether it's new industries, existing industries, going forward.
Well, I'm definitely with you. I'm a firm believer in putting the customer in the middle of the business, and so I think Celsi's doing a great job there. So on to the next question. Celsi has worked hard to position itself for long-term success. Now that its turnaround strategy is in play and the company is more competitive and adapting to the evolving telecoms landscape, what outcomes can you see materializing, and what advice do you have for aspiring companies and entrepreneurs?
So the first part is that the key reason why we've embarked on this turnaround is to create stability in the business, and secondly, to make sure that we have sustainable growth going forward. And the early shoots are showing that we are on the right trajectory, and we are on course to delivering on that particular journey. So looking at that and looking at our learnings, what can we share with the other businesses who are either new businesses starting or businesses that are on similar turnaround? The first one is to really, the best way to challenge any, to take on any challenge head on is firstly to acknowledge that you have a problem, and be honest and transparent about what your key challenges are, and what are the root causes. And then secondly, be quite creative around the solutions that you look for. Don't look at the obvious. In our case, we had to look outside of the next network build. We didn't go look for money to build more a bigger network to compete. We looked at solutions within our industry to say, look, we can partner in order for us to create the same quality at the network level. So we'll encourage them to also be creative and be nimble. Once you you find that idea, you're quick about implementing it. And thirdly, look to collaborate. Competitors they may look big, they may look like they're more stable, but there are opportunities to collaborate within your own industry and within adjacent industries in order to deliver for customers. As long as we all have the customer at the center of the solutions, and you will be quite surprised how it will be easier to find partners to collaborate with in delivering the solutions for your particular turnaround or for your new business that you're trying to grow.
Definitely, couldn't agree more. Then lastly, Simo, how does Celsi plan to contribute to the growing SA digital ecosystem?
So I think I've already started to talk about some of the products and some of the services really that we have, started delivering as part of our turnaround plan. But really, what customers would expect from us is going to be about consistently delivering on new, exciting products and services that cater for what the consumers need right now, whether it is work from home, study from home, entertain from home, and then beyond that, look at what the industry is going, and actually be at the leading edge of delivering solutions and exciting products that customers need as we go deeper into the fourth industrial revolution.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot to look forward to. I'm excited to see what Celsi does next. That does bring us to the end of our interview. So that's a wrap for today's show, with thanks to Celsi for making it possible. Spurs Takeouts, take it where you like it, how you like it, when you like it. Until next time.